plenty drama, plenty to be precise in that game. At the end of 90 minutes, we saw Vinicius Junior, we saw Lamine Yamal, his tweets before the match, and we saw how the likes of Danny Carvajal went to him trying to tell him that, hey, you are just a young man, you need to take your time when it comes to some of these big rival games and all of that. What will you say, Makion? What's your take away from the El Clasico and something you don't expect to see in the coming one?
All right. I think that for the first time in many years, or let me say for the first time in about 5 to 4 years, this is the El Clasico that has generated a lot of post-match reactions and also even the pre-match reactions. Even prior to the game, the tweets from Lamine Yamal, the social media posts from Lamine Yamal, the reactions from the Madrid team, it looks like everyone was pumped up for the El Clasico. And since the time Ronaldo and Messi left the Spanish La Liga scene, I think this is the first time we're seeing a much more hype Clasico prior to the game. Now to the game itself, yes, last season, Barcelona beat Madrid on 4 occasions, 2 times in the Spanish La Liga and also 2 times in the Copa del Rey. And it was something that was very interesting to me because for FC Barcelona to beat Madrid on 4 occasions last season, coming into this particular one, if you are Xabi Alonso, especially you're a new manager coming in your first El Clasico, Carlo Ancelotti had left, Hansi Flick is still there. Yes, you will want to do something for the fans. And at the end of the game, Madrid won. But post-match and what happened in between the games, Vinicius Junior, when he was substituted by Xabi Alonso, I wasn't too much happy about that. He didn't even go and sit on the bench. He went straight through the tunnel to the dressing room, and it also generated a lot of controversies. All of these things, post-match reactions, are good for the game. But for me, I think that for Vinicius Junior, yes, he was the best player on the pitch when he was being substituted. But then again, if you look at the other side of the coin, it was a trend when Barcelona were using his area, his position, to create a lot of chances. So if you are Xabi Alonso, you want to change and also have a defensive defensive players in there to help in terms of not conceding goals. So that was why he brought out Vinicius Junior. And if you have Vinicius Junior, yes, you will not be happy. But I think that the coach has the right to do that. And that reaction for him, I think that it's not so professional for me. Yes, he has come out to apologize to his teammates, to the coach, and also to the Madrid fanatics. And for the Lamine Yamal Carvajal situation too, I think that these are reactions which are very good for the game. Yes, we all know Lamine Yamal. I always say that he is a teenager, and we've all been teenagers before. In our teenage years, we used to do something. They used to advise us, you think you're on top of the world, you continue to do. And that's what is happening for the kid. He's just a teenager. In his teenage years, it's so natural. Yes, the advice will come for him, but then it's football. All of these things makes the game very, very interesting. And for Danny Carvajal, he is a senior player when it comes to the Spanish side. And I think that these are just anger issues just after the game. I think that they will patch up very, very soon. So for me, I think that it was an exciting game pre-match, during the game, also post-match. So I think that for the first time in 5 years, this is the very first time we've had a very exciting El Clasico.
That is James Oheneba Makion. Now, Phil, I mean, the same question to you. What would be your takeaways? What do you love about it? Is it the hype? Is it the emotions after the game? What do you think made the El Clasico?
Victor, the hype started right here, right in the studio.
Interesting, isn't
Manuel started it here. And after the game, I wished I could see, or I would see Manuel, what his emotions were at the time. But coming to the game, it was quite brilliant from Xabi Alonso to set up the way they did against Barcelona. Barcelona thought they were going to meet a normal Real Madrid side. But I wouldn't take so much from the Barcelona side because we didn't see Hansi Flick on the touchline because he was suspended. It was their assistant manager, Marcus Sorg, who took over. And I think that as well affected the team in a way. Because if you're a player and you are playing a game, a high-profile match like this, and you don't see your manager on the touchline, and you see the assistant, rather, you don't see the kind of zeal you normally see in big games, you tend to play anyhow. You tend to see the game as a normal game. But like I rightly said, Barcelona came into the game. We had a few questions after their last 2 games before the Madrid game, against Sevilla and then against Olympiacos. They were, I think, their last 3 games, because they also played Girona. But you saw the way we felt it coming. We felt that it was going to go Madrid's way, because of the way they were playing and the way they ended up winning certain games. 6-1 against Olympiacos, and a lot mentioned that game was not supposed to go that way, because at 2-1, then they were really pressed in a way that they could lose the game against Olympiacos before the red card. And that changed the game. And I felt that, yes, it wasn't a true reflection of the game against Olympiacos. So coming in the game against Madrid, we know they were hungry for that win. And they wanted to score so many goals on the day. And we saw it. They were hungry that they ended up scoring offside goals and all that. They should have, we talked about how they would time their runs because of the high line that Barcelona used to play, and they did so, like we rightly said. And they did not time their runs. They could have scored Barcelona by 8 goals to me, because if those goals had gone in, it would have given them the confidence to build on that, to score more goals. But then, at the end of the day, they were able to beat them, and that's the most important thing. Barcelona came into the game with 7 key players on the injury list, and we saw Real Madrid having the depth. When you look at their bench, these are the players that started the game. We saw Courtois in post, Carreras, Hodgson, Militao. Valverde played as a right back, but he got injured. Tchouaméni, Vini Jr., Adagula, Camavinga, Bellingham, and then Mbappe. These are the players that started the game. Look at the bench, players seated on the bench. They had Brahim on the bench, Rodrigo on the bench, Caballero, Ceballos, Gonzalo Garcia, Lunin, Ferland Mendy, Raul Asensio, Fran Garcia, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Endrick on the bench. That's quality depth. That's what we are talking about. And when you look at Barcelona, I can only mention about 3 players that you could say that these are quality. Casado, Arujo, and then Gerard Martin. The rest are just young boys that they are coming through. But you watch their injury list as well. You see Dani Olmo, Pablo Gavi, Juan Garcia, Ter Stegen, Lewandowski, Rafinha, and then Christensen. These are quality players as well. So that's the argument that Barcelona fans are having. But I don't think they should accept that they were beaten on the day, because on the day Real Madrid were better. They came up, they were set up very well. They played a 4-1-4-1 system that I haven't seen this season that they've played. They normally play the 4-3-3 system or the 4-2-3-1. But they played a 4-1-4-1, very compact. And it made it very difficult we know Barcelona play a possession game. They play in and around the 18-yard box, playing the tiki-taka game, trying to find holes in the defense. It was very difficult for them. Very difficult to find holes in the defense of Madrid. And I believe after Real Madrid lost to Atletico Madrid, they sat down and they are coming up. They are trying to get a better team. And I think in the team now, Madrid would have big matches to play. And I think their players that are coming from injury, it would help the team. It will help them go far, especially as they are playing Liverpool in their next Champions League game, and they have the players back. Liverpool are struggling. It would help Real Madrid. So I think the last week's El Clasico was a game for Real Madrid.
Well, interesting. And now let's go to the Madrid man. And I want to get into his mind and believe what you'll be saying. Manuel, I mean, it was a great win for Madrid. It was a very difficult one, but at least they managed to scale it with Kylian Mbappe also missing via the penalty spot and all of that. I mean, what do you make of Madrid performance? Let's take emotions out of it. Then we can do that when you are done. What do you make of Madrid performance?
Let me just first start by thanking Lamine Yamal for, gingering my boys before they played that game. I think a lot of the victory, a lot of the way we played, the passion I saw from the boys, a lot of them I can say we owe to Lamine Yamal. I mean, thank God for his big mouth. He should be talking trash like that, or before El Clasicos, we would appreciate it. Because honestly, I feel like it was the first time I saw Madrid play a Clasico and felt like, yeah, we wanted to do something. We did not want to lose this game. That was the first time in a long time. The only other time I saw that was when we beat them 4-1 under Carlo Ancelotti. But yeah, look, so thank Lamine Yamal for that. But a couple of things, yeah. I mean, Phil mentioned that we still did not learn from the offside trap and all that. Let me ask this. I mean, we know the offside rules, right? So let's talk about the Kylian Mbappe first goal, the belter from long range. Now, if a player is in an offside position, yeah, and the last touch comes off the opposition player, is it an offside?
No.
It's not.
No, it's not at all.
Do you know that for that particular goal, the last touch came off Fermin Lopez?
Yeah.
And so that goal should have stood, whether or not Mbappe was in an offside position. And I have doubts as to whether or not Mbappe was in an offside position in the first place. But let's say, for argument's sake, that he was. If the last touch in play of that ball came off the Barcelona player, it should have stood. It wasn't as shocking at all that the referee did not even bother to check who the last touch came off. So again, me personally, I've gotten used to Barcelona getting away with these kinds of decisions. We know it's been there. I mean, we saw it in the Champions League they played before they played us, Olympiacos. It was there. And it's always the same story. When it's Barcelona, you would find one or two decisions very, very, and Charlie, we are used to it. So Charlie, bro, Phil, it's not our fault. Eh? We really wanted to score the goals, but they won't let us. They won't let us score the goals. So yeah, I'm very happy for the win. I mean, I wanted more goals, honestly, but yeah, I'll take the 2-1 win because look, we spoke about how Xabi Alonso has not really stepped up to the plate when he faced the big boys. We spoke about how against the likes of Paris Saint-Germain, against the likes of Atletico de Madrid, he fumbled and did not really show us that he's the kind of manager we saw at Leverkusen. But against Barcelona, let me say, it's tactical genius. I love, and let me mention a few of the tactics. For the first time, yeah, Madrid fielded a starting 11 that were the youngest in an El Clasico in almost 2 decades. Do you understand? So that was the youngest starting 11 that Madrid have fielded. Yeah, for Madrid in an El Clasico. And then secondly, you talk about the expected goal stats. That was the first time Madrid as a team had outperformed Barcelona in expected goals in I don't know how many El Clasicos now. It means all the chances we created, all the chances were in our favor. And I think everybody that watched that game saw that. We created all the chances. We could have scored a lot more goals, like Phil said. We scored a lot more goals. They did not take it. But yeah, so basically, I think Xabi Alonso, and look, let me mention this. Tactical genius, yeah, was starting Camavinga as a right midfielder, right winger. I mean, historically, Madrid has always favored their left-hand side of the attack. So you have a lot of the balls going to Vinicius or whoever is playing the left wing, and that is where we operate mostly. And Xabi recognized that particular flaw, and so he fielded not only Camavinga, he fielded Jude Bellingham, Camavinga, and Fede Valverde all on the right side just to balance the sheet. And if you watch that game perfectly, you can see that we do not only attack via the right-hand side. Let's talk about the first goal. It came from Jude Bellingham on the right-hand side. Do you understand? That was tactical masterclass from Xabi Alonso, and I'm really, really happy that finally I have a manager who can read a game and, field players tactically to get the best result from that. And I expect more from him going forward.
Exciting stuff and exciting revelation from Donko. Now, I'm having some messages already trickling in, and this is coming from Kojo Menka. He's sending this one from La Paz, and he says that, guys, I'm really enjoying the show. It is live on my screen. So it means that he's watching via Facebook, and thanks once again to our Facebook family who always stick with us here on Z101.9 FM. Then Kwesi Ame is sending this one from Ajigano, and he says that, guys, I am really, really enjoying the conversation, but I'm looking forward to the Liverpool conversation because I'm really interested in what is happening at Anfield. Well, so Kwesi Ame, the guys will be telling you more about that. Then Obuo Ampon sends this one from Nimpasem. He says that, guys, I am already seated and enjoying the show with my family. Well, thank you very much, Obuo Ampon. And then there's also Clement Tupac. Hey, he's sending this one from my Simon, and he says that I'm a town Chelsea fan. I know Arsenal fans or folks are saying that the league is theirs, but I don't think so. I'm sure Chelsea will be able to surprise them at the end of the season, and that is coming from Clement Tupac. Let us also know your thoughts via the number 054-432-1019, and we'll be very excited to read them out to the rest of the world. Now let's get into our main discussions, and it's been an exciting journey for Coach Kim-Lars Brockhagen, and his name has been one that has confused many, even including journalists. And recently he was asked by one of the journalists what really is the pronunciation of his name, and he says that normally it is Lars, or you can just say Kim, but the right word is Bjorkegren, because some calls him Bjorgren. And he says that no, that is too far away from his name. But he's having an exciting journey with the Black Queens of Ghana. He was with the AFCON 2024 with them, went all the way into the semi-final, settled for a bronze, and for a second time on the road, they've qualified for 2026 AFCON to be hosted again in Morocco. And he's been speaking a lot because many have said that after qualifying us, it looks like he might be on the runway. And he says, no, I'm staying here with Ghana. I love the project. I rejected so many offers to be with Ghana. And I don't know what the guys make of all of that. And even including the bonus and per diems, Bruaha, the minister came out and debunked those rumors that, he was not harsh to the girls in that meeting. And, that also says that we need to be careful as journalists when we are putting out certain informations. But let me start again with James. James, you are ardent follower of women's football. What do you make of all of this and our qualification?
I think that exactly a week ago when we played against Egypt, I think we played on a Saturday or a Sunday. I think it was on a Saturday. Our qualification to the WAFCON, which is coming on in Morocco 2026. Already we are coming on at the back of winning a bronze medal in the WAFCON. A feat that a lot of people didn't think that we could have chalked, because when Nora Haptel left, a lot of people were in doubt about the pedigree of Kim-Lars Bjorkegren, especially in the sense that when he came in, he played quite a few friendly games. Those friendly games didn't go on well. We played against Ivory Coast. We played against Morocco. We drew some of those games. We went on to beat Malawi. Then fast forward, we went on to the WAFCON, where we were able to win the bronze medal, third medal. The girls came back to Ghana. I think this is the first time that the Queens came back to Ghana, where there was a lot of hype about them. They went to Parliament House. They were celebrated there. They were given some gifts. They went to Jubilee House, where they met the president of the land, John Mahama. Other corporate societies also helped them, and it was all fun, and everyone applauded them for doing well. And fast forward, last week we went on to beat Egypt in the WAFCON qualifier. We beat them by 3-0. Doris Wedua also scoring there. Then they came to Ghana in preparation for the game on Tuesday, and if they had won the game, or a win for them would have automatically qualified them to the WAFCON in Morocco. But the whole story was more about their bonuses. Now the Queens or the girls thought that, yes, we've gone on to win bronze medal. You promised us that when we win, we're able to win this number of games. This is the money that we are going to receive. And according to reports, it was $9,500 each for every player. And the players felt that, if you listen to the insider, the players felt that no, this has happened before, because if you look at Portia Boachi, who is the captain of the team, he was part of the squad around 2012 or 2013. That's witness this kind of situation. They went on to qualify for the WAFCON, but then the money didn't come early as expected. Then, right when the girls reached the country, they marched straight to the ministries to take their money. At that time, he was part of the team. She was very young by then. Now she's the captain of the team. She has witnessed something like that. So obviously, she will also feel that, no, I've seen this situation before. This script, I really know how it really plays out. Then Jennifer Kujo has also been in the team for a while now. She's an experienced player, played the Blasters for very, very long. So they were trying to fight for their bonuses. But for me, I think that, yes, a lot of people could have said that they should have acted professional and go on to play the game and have some trust in the minister. But as I said, some of these girls have seen this picture play in their eyes before. They know how it goes. However, I also think that this should have been done by the Ghana Football Association. If I say this should be done by the Ghana Football Association, I mean that, first of all, the negotiations, yes, as the captains of the team, Portia Boache, Jennifer Kujo, the senior players, Cynthia Conlab, the senior players could have approached. That's why they have a management committee, Alex Asante, Gift Owari nowadays. We don't know whether she's still part of the management committee of the Black Queens, but I feel that they should have gone to the GFA, cry to them that we really want our money before we can go on to play this game. Then the FA could have acted as a mediator between the players and the ministries. Fast forward, go to the ministry and tell them that, Minister of Sports and Recreation, this is what the girls are saying. Can you kindly tell us when the money will be back? Then if they receive the feedback, then the GFA will also go to the girls and tell them, look, this is the situation. But I don't think that's what happened.
No, but sorry to cut you, but I want to look. We have been around this women football stuff for quite some time now, and you see, it has always been a crooked reality for the girls. And if I say crooked reality, the crooked reality is that we sit in this country, we see the Blasters come to play. In fact, sometimes their money is even paid into the account before they even step onto the field.
According to the minister, he says that.
No, what I'm saying is not just for this particular government, but I'm speaking to
previous
over the years what has been the norm. You know, we see the girls struggle. I mean, they can't play their heart out. They have to beg. Sometimes you see some of them dejected. Even sometimes when they are even injured, we see the hassles they go through, because we have friends in the national team. We talk to some of the players, and the feedback we get very, very bad. But I want to digress a bit and thank this particular minister, Honorable Kofi Adams. I think he's doing quite well when it comes to how he's beginning to handle the national team. He's trying to put a structure in place. Far beyond that, you rightly mentioned that the girls have seen this reality play out before.
Exactly. So that was why.
And you cannot trust someone who has mafiaed you before. You cannot trust them, not even a GFA, because why wouldn't the GFA should have gone to negotiate before they even come for return home to play this match.
So that's the point I was raising. That
so once the GFA failed to go and negotiate, it means that they don't even have their goodwill at heart. So they would have to take the bull by the horn.
Exactly. I get your point. But I'm saying that even when they decided to boycott training and not even go for the training, it was the GFA who were in the meeting with the girls, pleading with them to go. The likes of Mr. Alex Asante, the president himself, Kets E.S. Okriku was there. But I'm even saying that you mentioned the minister. I'm even saying that even the minister mentioned that the Blasters even currently are old bonuses. No, the technical team are own bonuses. It's not even only in football.
No, it is fair now, because
exactly looking at the other federations,
receive and receive it. You understand?
Exactly.
But this is a girls team that have been deprived of so many things.
I get your point.
You understand?
I'm even looking beyond.
But sorry.
Let me. I wanted to learn. I'm even looking beyond just football. Just look at the other federations.
Yeah.
Hockey, about 2 months ago, went to do wonders for Ghana. The amputee teams. So I'm not only looking at football per se, but I'm also looking at the other sporting federation, badminton, table tennis. These guys are doing well. Taekwondo. Recently in their knockout games, the volleyball team, the baseball team went on to win 10 medals for Ghana. Still, all of their preparations, all their bonuses are not being made. So I'm looking at the larger picture. That going forward, this should not be happening. not only for the girls, but also for the other sporting federation. But fast forward, the girls went on to win their game, easy win for the Black Queens against the Egyptians. They've qualified for the WAFCON 2026. Their bonuses are being paid, it's been swept. But just I agree with you with the point that if it was the Black Stars, we would have been more strict. It wouldn't even have come out that the boys are even trying to boycott. Then they were trying to solve it. So going forward, not only for the women national football teams, but also for the other sporting federations. And yes, we would like to give the credit to Kofi Adams. When he came in, we've seen that for the other federations like badminton, table tennis, he goes to their games, trying to cheer them on, trying to look at what they are doing. So I think that the Queens have done so well. Egypt, in terms of women's football, is not a powerhouse. At least they've done their best to be their possible best to beat them on a 7-0 aggregate scoreline, and they are going into the WAFCON. All we are hoping is that Kim Lass will have the core of her team around players like Doris Bouedua, Princess Mafo, Chantal Boy, Bonsu. They are all doing well, and I think that the likes of Stella Yamiche, these young players are also coming up. And I think that if we give Kim Lasbioke the opportunity to at least stay with this team for some time, I think that he can go on to do wonders. And even talking about, he's saying that he has received offers from some places. For me personally, I think that maybe those offers, looking at comparing the stature to Ghana and maybe those offers from other countries, probably Ghana is at a higher level. We also what Nora did when Zambia came calling, he definitely left. So we all don't know the countries or the clubs that came calling, but for now, I think that he's doing a marvelous job with the girls, and let's give credit to him for that.
Okay, so those are the thoughts of James Ohimba Makion. But before I go to Phil and even Donko, I you see, it's quite unfortunate.
Yeah.
And sometimes when it comes to women's football, I have a lot to say because I've been in that circle for quite a while. And I was having a chat with one of our players. I don't want to mention her position because once I put out her position, people can guess her name. And she was telling me this is a player who has played all her heart out for Ghana. In fact, she has been with the national team somewhere around 2009. She just left the scene, I think, a year ago. Even with that one, it was due to injury. She's been to 3 AFCONs with the Black Queens, have traveled to their tours in Italy, in Germany, all of that. But, bro, after 3 AFCONs, she cannot put her hand to any building anywhere and say, this is what I have gotten. Not from playing a double-legged qualifier, but from playing in
entire
3 AFCONs. But we get to see players, even in the Ghana Premier League, play 2 double headers. After that, those 2 double headers, they buy car.
Yeah. And I think it's not even only for the national team. Let's look at the other side of Queen. Women's football. Are players given the proper contract? Because how many times will you play for the national team? Because you spend most of your time playing for your club. So looking at that picture, are the women given proper contracts? What are their salary? Because every weekend you'll be playing league football, women's football, and that's what will be putting food on your money. As for the national team, once in a while, if your form is that good, you'll be called in. And once you are called in, yes, if you are able to win the games, you're given winning bonuses. But for the league that they always play daily, the same energy you are putting in for their bonuses in the national team side, let's put the same energy for the club side. Are they given proper contracts? And I tell you that, and you know this, you've been in the space for a very long time. Most of these girls playing are just playing for just playing sake, with the hope that they'll do or being called into the national team, they will get a contract outside.
Yeah.
But playing in the Women's Ghana Premier League, these girls, some of them are not even paid.
Oh, that's
it. Can testify to that.
It's just
I think that's going forward. We should channel our energy to that one. Proper player contracts for these girls, and not just any Miaga fee or any Miaga salary. Proper contract, so that just like the example you give, if at the end of the day they retire in their home, they will know that at least the football that they played has done something good for them. So not only the national side, but for also club football. That's what I think.
Phil, I mean, it's a sad convo. when it comes to the girls. And, no, I feel so sad because most of the time.
I really want to choose my words carefully.
No, you have to.
Yes,
you have
because it's very sad. If you compare he was talking about the league.
Yeah.
And even the men's league, just the FA just came out that the minimum amount salary should be 1,500.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? So you can imagine how much they are being paid.
The 1,500 is even for Ghana Premier League
Yes.
players. The minimum
Yes.
for women is 700 cedis.
Wow.
And even Division 1, yeah.
when I was trying to negotiate a deal for a player somewhere around Africa, somewhere around Ethiopia, and the player was supposed to pocket around 150 million Ghana cedi. That is even a
The
country
minimum. Yeah.
players who didn't want to go. 150 million. So
we all agree that our football has gone down for some years now. But if it's rising, it's coming up, we should put proper measures in place that would help everybody who's playing football or every sport in the country. Because you can't tell me that these girls, like I said, I want to choose my words carefully.
Oh yes, and you
seriously. And we have to do this on another day, because I want to touch on the issues with Kofi Adams, where he came out to
debunk those.
Exactly.
Those
he said he
rumors.
was out of the country.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you,
No.
I feel we should give him that credit.
No, Phil. Before you come in, I want to say that I was one of the first people. I didn't know how many people were listening to that convo, but one of the first people to hear the minister narrate the situation.
Exactly. I heard
Live.
it myself.
It
Yeah.
was not after someone put it out. I was listening to him when he narrated the situation, and you feel that. I mean, it wasn't just fair to him to his
Exactly.
person.
That's why I'm saying
Yeah.
that we need to give him some credit. He just barely a year now.
Yeah.
And I've been the one person that when you go wrong, I'll give you.
Yeah.
I'll just make it known to you that you didn't do it well.
Yeah.
Let's give him that credit. And even he came out to even say that the salaries which we thought that it was supposed to be 9,500 was actually 6,500. But then the losses that the women's they had along during the competition, they added those ones to it to make it 9,500. I believe that that's quite fair.
Yeah.
And coming out to also say that they are putting measures in place, he made mention of some few other instances and situations where I feel that we should give him that time. The way he's handling things, I think that we are judging him it's too early. Let's give them that time for them to work. Coming to the Black Queens' performance against Egypt and all, a lot would say Kim Lass. Yes, he's done well with the team, but I believe that the work started from Nora. When you watch the way the girls play or the women play right now, you would see signs and style of the same system that Nora used when she was around. And I think that, yes, he's done well. I'll give credit to all, to even the FA, because Kurt has been traveling, he's been with the girls, talking to them, giving them morale, talking, getting them to prepare their minds for the game and all that. Now they've qualified. I believe, I think in some few, we are playing the Lioness, right? They'll be playing the Lioness very soon.
Yeah, I think December 2nd,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
That is the profile matches that has to be arranged for the girls. If we want to lift our standard, we need matches against Japan, Australia, USA, Brazil, Canada, and the likes.
Germany and
the likes. Then you can say that yes. Now even when we go and we are being beaten by 10 goals to 0, that's the result is not what matters, but the performance of the girls and the girls that you use during the competition. I tell you, sometimes you go into certain games and you, the coach, you realize that you made a mistake. the coaches need to make mistakes, and they know they have to make sure that they correct them. They don't need to learn on the job. These are the kind of matches that needs to be prepared for them to also get that experience. Because I doubt Kim Lars himself has played the Lioness before. No. Yes. So this is also building his CV. And with issues of him, other countries trying to lure him and all that, that shouldn't even be said. Because sometimes I wonder. But there are certain situations where you will find coaches learning on the job, and I believe this is one. He is good, yes, but I don't think that coming against top countries that we know that they've been at that level for a very long time, that experience is always there for them. Ghana is rising. Yes, we have a couple of players that are also playing outside, and the ones here would learn from them as well. That we need a unit to go into every competition that we play. And we need to play proper countries that prepare so well for such games. And that is what I believe that Ket and his people will be doing. Ket, I always give him credit for what he's been doing, what he started, and especially for the Colts football, bringing it back. He's doing a lot as well, has been bashing him and all that. But I believe they all need time. If you don't give people time, how would you get them to give you exactly? They can't, Rome wasn't built in a day. They can't give you the best in a day. And I think that is what we need to understand, and that is what we need to do. We need to prepare high-profile games for the girls. Yes, they've done well. I realize that Egypt themselves, they've not been at the top for some time now. And
are you talking about women's football?
Women's football. I'm talking about women's football.
It is not that they have not
we
been
are
at the top.
talking about women's football.
It is not that they've not been at the top for some time now. They've not been there, brother. They have never been there, so and they are not there yet.
Yes.
But so it was a walk in the park.
Yes, that is what we need to understand. Most people are making it as if, the Queens are back and all that. Please, let's understand the situation and let's continue to build. Let's encourage the girls, give them matches that they would get that experience from, and then build on that.
Well, so that is Phil speaking there, and you know, he made some very, very brilliant submissions. A lot of credit to the Minister for Sports and Recreation for that swift response. And you see, anytime women football is progressing, what happens is that where the Black Stars fail to make Ghanaians smile, the women, in a way, find a way to make Ghanaians happy. They are always our plan B. They are always our second option. And it's still a live show here on Z101.9 FM. You can still send your messages on the number 054-432-1019. And let's now hear from Emmanuel Donko.
Phil, so, well, look, let me just start by saying that I don't think it's the question of, you know, it's always been the case that we've not treated the black queens fairly, you know, and pretty much not just them, pretty much every other sport. I think in this country, if you're not a Black Stars player, you are made to feel like you don't matter, you know. So I can even talk about athletics. We saw our athletics guys, the Zemetis, the Josh Amoas, them participate in the Tokyo Olympics recently. You listen to them, Grace Yeboah, who jumps the triple jump for us. She spoke about how she didn't have gears to train. She didn't have. It's a recurring issue. Okay, it's always there. We give priority to the Black Stars, and that's it. As a country, that's what we do, and we should be very shameful. We should be very ashamed about that. I don't think that is very fair. You know, especially, and you look at the rewards. So compare the rewards the Black Stars give us in terms of achievements and trophies to all these other disciplines. And Makion made mention of the fact that, you know, you look at other sporting disciplines. Recently, there's a Ghanaian swimmer that set a national record in the swimming competitions. These people are there. In other sporting disciplines, we are breaking barriers. We are doing great things. But Do we even hear about them? Do we even, how much more support them as a nation? We don't do that. So that is just a problem. And it's been a problem for a long time, and it has to change. Okay, it really, really has to change. Then let me talk about, so on the same tangent here, let me talk about, you made a point about how there was this Black Queens lady, you didn't want to mention her name. I mean, Victor, sorry. Let's just make it straight here. Like, look, you can't really, make a living out of the money you make from the Black Queens. It's just not possible. Even for the Black Stars, you can't make, no Black Stars player will tell you that it is unless maybe those who are playing the local league, because obviously for various reasons, you know that the local league is not paying the local players as good enough. So when they go to the Black Stars, that's when their payday comes. But
it means that if those playing domestically, when they are paid those monies, they are able to make something out of it. Is that the case?
So what I'm saying is, even if you are playing domestically, you know that the money. Recently, we are talking about a minimum wage of 1,500 for these guys. Okay, and that's just quite recent. Before that, they were paying abysmal money, abysmal salaries. So they get hyped, they get excited when they go into the national team because they know it'll be a bigger payday. That's for the Black Stars, for Black Stars players. But ordinarily, you are not supposed to be making a living out of the money you get from your national team. Yeah. I can mention a country like Italy. Italy national team, I think the last World Cup they went, there are bonuses that were paid. They did not take it. There are countries in the world where players are playing for their national teams not because of the money. I can tell you this for a fact. Cristiano Ronaldo will play for Portugal not because of the money he's going to be making from the Portugal national team. Okay? But
Donko, those are those countries. This is Ghana. Sometimes we have to be realistic. We are talking about a developing country. We are talking about a country that, look, and I'm talking about a player who has been in a national team for over 10
and I'm telling you, Phil.
Compare that to the DRU, who has been with the Black Stars since 2008. You can't say that for the DRU, even if it's not supposed to be getting.
The DRU is not going to be making money from the money he makes from the Black Stars. That's the point I'm making.
But will he make good money since 2008 till now? If he was still playing,
I mean, obviously, you make good money. They are being paid $10,000.
So yes, you may not be playing for the money, but you're supposed to make some good money. Even if you make $3,000 and you invest into,
bro, you fail to understand me. I've said that proportionally, we've not been fair to any other sporting discipline aside the Black Stars in terms of the remuneration and the money we give them. The Black Stars always get proportionally more than everybody else, and that is not fair. That is a point I have made.
Solid.
And I am saying that with regards to this Black Queens lady, right? No football player is supposed to be making a living, okay? Like a living. The money you are supposed to be... Because how many times do you even play for your national team?
No, and that's a fact. That's a fact.
For most of the calendar year, you're playing for your club side. Do you understand?
Yeah, maybe once you play for...
So you cannot be expected that your national team... you've been... I mean, how many times has the African Cup happened?
No, and I'm saying that is a fact.
So if she's going to African Cup with the Black Queens 4 times, that come on, man. Are we saying that means she's supposed to...
You are getting... So Donko, what you are saying is a pure fact. Some countries, you don't play for the money. But I'm saying, even if you play 4 times for the national team and you are paid $500, how much is that? That is 200. That is 2,000, right? Now, assuming the lady goes and invests into something from 2009 till now, that's a lot of money. That could have gotten her something bigger. So it is not about not playing for the national team for money or how much you are paid. Mine is that be paid, be given what you are due, even if it is once. Because we have made a statement that a player goes and play, a domestic player goes and play, and I don't want to mention the player's name. He went to just 2-2. He has bought a car. That is a big investment for him. So at his level, that is his big investment. Yeah. But you can't tell Partey that coming to Ghana national team is what he lives on, because that money it is. In fact, he does not even need to.
So it's subjective.
And I have been with someone who is close to Partey in his hotel. Right after the game, he hands over a huge bag to someone. He doesn't need the money because he makes a lot at club side. But for these girls, it is bigger for them because for the whole season, that's more money from the Black Queens camp is bigger than what they've earned with their local side the whole season. So it is good. It is Phil, good money for them.
Victor, sorry, I keep calling you. Phil has worried me so much. Victor, hear me. So I am telling you that these women in their club teams, in their national team, pretty much every other sport aside the Black Stars, they need to be paid more.
Absolutely.
Because they are not being paid what they deserve as Black Queens, as Black Princesses, as, you know, athletes, as tennis players, as hockey players, whatever sports aside Black Stars. Okay, aside the Black Stars team, it's not nobody who is playing any other sport, any other team, any other representing the country in any other way is being paid nearly enough, fairly. Okay, when they represent Ghana, that is a fact. When you come down to their club sides too, the clubs do not have money.
Absolutely.
You want to? Should we talk about?
No,
they can't pay them.
It is not that they don't have the money. That's it.
They don't have money to be paying this. So. Yes, it is when they come to the national team, that's when they expect that. So we've mentioned, we can talk about Benjamin Asari, who keeps the goal for Accra House of Folk. It is when Benjamin Asari goes to the national team, he's happy.
Yes.
Because he knows he's going to land a big payday from bonuses from the Black Stars.
And we've already seen it, that he returns and he gives out to...
that's what I'm saying.
At Medina Stotef, the girls go and come back, even under 20, they come back, they buy a whole lot of stuff packages for their colleagues just for going to play Black Princesses.
Victor,
that is why I am saying that. I get where you are coming from, but my argument is that even if it is one Ghana city, I am saying that give it to them, because maybe to them that is a big money for them, so they deserve it, whether irrespective of how you value the money.
Remember, we went to Takwa I think last season. On the commentary, and then Heart of Oak played Mediema. After the game, the players were giving, the fans were giving out monies and whatever. We saw the number of players that were chasing those money, to be honest. And it's quite sad that
a Premier, can you imagine League, English Premier League? Fans throwing team, money and Chelsea players are rushing for the money. Liverpool players, even Madrid player Vinicius Junior is chasing
10 CDs, 20 CDs.
Come on.
Can you imagine?
You are all making my point for me. I am saying that these players are not being paid nearly enough, and that is why these things are happening. Because if this lady you are talking about, who had gone to 4 WAFCONs with the Black Queens, if she was playing for, say, Nottingham Forest, like Hockler currently plays for, and she's being paid from a club side, she would not be, stressing about money the way she won't really care about how much the Black Queens.
She will need it.
No, Timmy.
No, she will need it.
I'm not saying. Phil, if you are playing for a Nottingham Forest who is paying you maybe $10,000 a week, just a week old, come on, man, what are we saying?
No, she will need it.
She will need the money. Because whether she takes it away or she does it to someone,
perfect example,
she needs the money. That is it.
These players were playing. Muntai was playing for AC Milan. Yes, but they still need it.
And they give out. So even if they don't take it, they would definitely give it out to somebody.
Yeah.
What you are failing to understand is, I am telling you that.
We are saying that all these points you are making, we understand it. But don't say that the fact that a player is playing for Chelsea, is playing for Madrid, is playing for whatever team, they don't need those monies from their national team. That is.
I am saying if
the national team gives out those money, if the national team don't give out those money, that is fair enough. But once they make it a habit of giving out those money, they need the money. Because I have seen fans at in Cape Coast, after a game, they come to the players, and one of the players got so angry and has to dip his hand into his pocket and throw the money at the fans, because the guys were just chasing the player for the money. He may not take that bonus away, but people around them need that money. So you need to give it to them.
Victor, I agree 100%, but I am also saying, for instance, let me see if I can make the point I'm making clear for you. When you look at the current Black Queens team, you take Chantel Boy, who plays for Nottingham Forest, and Doris Bedua, who plays for Hapoel in the Israel, right? Hapoel Jerusalem in Israel. Pretty much everybody else. So you have Grace Asantua, who plays for Juarez in Mexico, and a lot of them are playing outside. Our goalkeeper was signed by Samatex ladies recently, right? And just a few of them are the ones hanging about.
Even she was playing in Saudi Arabia before she returned.
So I'm telling you that these girls who were playing for better clubs, you will not hear them, talk about the fact that they've been playing for the Black Queens for 4 years. and they have not done anything with their money. Do you understand? Because they've when you're playing for a better side, this lady, what club was she playing for?
Who?
The lady you are talking about, was she playing for a better club?
Yes.
Like a club in Europe?
She played. In fact, she was playing domestically and have played for almost 5 or 6 foreign clubs, including playing for in Israel and the rest. And when she's in the national team, apart from maybe Portia, I think Portia even met her in the national team. She is one of the most capped players for the national team. And you see, the argument we are doing is that don't call we. No, don't you see?
So you see, that's the point. You rightly make my point for me. That's what I'm saying. So if this lady has been in the business, so what she's saying is that because of the Black Queen's money, she's not been able to done anything. Is that what she's saying?
I'm not saying that is what she said, but I'm saying we're having a convo, and I'm saying that look, you that is what you think, but to those girls, okay, whether irrespective of the club she's playing for, even if she's getting one city from the national team, she needs it.
So Victor, does that mean that the 4 AFCONs that she played in, they didn't receive their bonuses?
I think even we heard the minister saying that it's recently they've increased their money. They may be giving, but it isn't anything.
No, currently the bonus for the Black Queens is $1,500.
Yeah.
And look, I'm telling you, that money is not gonna be fair. There is someone in the Black Stars, part of the Black Stars team, who just arranges the cones on the pitch when they are about to train and packs them up. He's taking $8,000 as bonus.
No,
do you understand?
So Phil.
So the money, in terms of the money and the proportion and how it's shared to these women, I'm telling you, it's never fair. Unless you are part of the Black Stars, you're part of the Black Stars team, you are not going to be making that much. Someone is just picking up cones, they are taking $8,000 as bonus. Black Queens, their current bonus, as I'm telling you, is $1,500. When they play for the Black Stars and they show up for the Black Queens, that is the money they get paid as bonus, just as bonus. That money is not proportionately fair at all, and it's not. And I'm saying the conversation has to be had. These monies need to be increased, okay? Like they need, but when they tell me someone is out there and she says she's been to African Cup of Nations.
I think, brother, look, let me use my Victor power here. So we're having a Black Queens conversation. And I'm just making a simple statement. Look, it is not about the proportion of monies that is given to the girls. No, that is not the argument, because we all know in this country that the Black Stars make so much playing for they make so much playing for the nation. My argument is simple. If a Black Queens player comes represent the country, like Kofi Adam have said just 3 days ago, when they play for the national, give them what is due them. It is not how big it is. That is my argument. It is not how big it is. Just give them. Whether it is even one Ghana city and the person feel I can buy a car with it, it is their problem. But the country's own is that just give them their money. Well, we've stayed long on the Black Stars, Black Queens conversation. Let's move a bit to Europe and talk about sinking Liverpool ship. Arne Slot has been speaking. He's been defending his style. He's brought in Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike, Mohamed Salah is also there. Should he be a bit more pragmatic, or should he be just attacking football? Well, so thanks, and you're still for enjoying this weekend sports rally on Z101.9 FM. The Black Queens conversation, we'll have it another time. Full house, we'll have it. But and look, to be very fair, what Manuel is saying, they are pure facts that the girls, the pay for the Black Stars and the Black Queens, it is disproportionate. I mean, it is not close in any way. And I also agree to the argument that once girls are playing for bigger clubs, sometimes they don't tend to use their money in the national team game, because it's just like a chicken change, just like coins for them. But my argument is that whether it is chicken change or whatever, they deserve their money. Give it to them. For all you know, for somebody, that is the biggest money they have received the whole year. This guys, let's talk about Liverpool a bit. I mean, Arne Slot, he's been on the chopping board for quite some time. He's been 8 losses on the road in the English Premier League. The last time they won, I think, was in the Champions League. And I mean, he's been really, really hot. What do you make of him? Do you think that the problem with Liverpool this season is the fact that they brought in so many attacking players? Or do you think that they are diminishing return has set in at this point? They've seen it all from Klopp's time. These same old players, they've played in a Champions League final several times. They were close to winning the English Premier League on a couple of occasions, only to lose it at the 11th and they finally won it last season. Do you think that the players feel that, oh, we've seen it all, that there's nothing to do, or you think it's a managerial problem?
Liverpool, you never walk alone. These days,
but they are walking alone.
These days, they are walking alone, and I think that it's a lot of factors. We are looking at why Liverpool are sinking. They started the season very well, so let's put some context to this conversation.
All right.
Last season, at the beginning of last season, Klopp left. They brought in Ancelotti.
Yeah.
Fast forward, they did so well. Went on to win the English Premier League. A season that Manchester City didn't up their game. Chelsea were now finding their feet. Arsenal themselves had bottled the league previously. That's particularly a lot of people were thinking that Arsenal, but at a point in time, they also couldn't go on to win it. Then Slot went on to win the English Premier League for the first time, being in the helm of affairs for Liverpool Football Club. When he came in, he didn't buy any players. He used the players that Klopp left for him to go on to win the English Premier League. The likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold were there. Robertson, Darwin Núñez, Diego Jota, may he so rest in perfect peace. Mohamed Salah was in superb form for Liverpool last season. Fast forward in the transfer window, some players decide to leave. Trent Alexander-Arnold decides to see out his contract and move to Real Madrid, a team that he has dreamed of playing since his boyhood time. Yeah. Brought in Milos Kekes, whilst Robert Anderson was still there. Some players left. Darwin Núñez left. Luis Diaz also left. Now, this is the problem I have. I think that for the era of Jurgen Klopp, there were some transfer windows that he had to do some reinforcement in the defense. If you take any team, now the spine of every team is the goalkeeper, the two center backs, the midfielders, talking about the defensive midfielders, and also the strikers. So if you look at these positions that I've mentioned, they are in a linear form, and we always call it as the spine of the team. Now, take a look at that of Liverpool. We have Van Dijk and Ibrahim Konate. Personally, I think that Van Dijk is a very good defender, but the problem has always been with the players the player that is being paired with Van Dijk. Yes, Konate was brought in. He was doing a good job, but I think that he is very shaky. Sometimes Andre Gomez comes in and he doesn't put up a very, very good performance. Fast forward, at the right back position, Trent Alexander-Arnold left. Now, we all agree that Trent is a player, or he was a player who was an attacking outlet for Liverpool Football Club. At a point in time, he always comes in and even plays in the midfield role when Liverpool are attacking. There was a point in time he was the player with the most assists in the English Premier League, even playing at the right back position. So looking at the profile of the players, bringing in Jeremy Frimpong, I think that it's a wrong profile. Looking at what Trent Alexander-Arnold was providing. Jeremy Frimpong is a right wing back, whilst Trent was a right back. And going forward, I think that Trent provided more options going forward than Jeremy Frimpong. Again, look at the players, or look at the money that Liverpool have spent on just attackers. Yes, we can say that Darwin Núñez left, Luis Diaz left, Liverpool lost Diego Jota, Mohamed Salah is also there. But just look at the transfer window. They bought Alexander Isak for £125 million. They brought in Florian Wirtz for £116.5 million. And they brought in Hugo Ekitike from Frankfurt for £79 million. Now, if you look at the Isak fee, it was more than 10 Premier League clubs, more than what 10 Premier League clubs spent in the entire window. So for me, my point is, Slots should have spread the money, look for proper centre backs, proper defensive reinforcement, than to spend all of this money on attacking players. Again, look at the midfield. You've brought in Jeremy Frimpong. Yes, at a point in time, he got injured. But at a point in time, Jeremy Frimpong was on the bench, ready to play, whilst he's playing Szoboszlai as right back. Milos Kekes hasn't been in that good form when he was at Bournemouth. I think he should have stuck with Robertson. At a point in time, Conor Bradley comes into play at the right back. So I think that spending so much money in the attacking field, yes, Etikitke found his feet in the beginning. Isak is here to find his feet. Florian Wirtz, the highest when it comes to in terms of transfer money in the English Premier League, he's the one holding the highest transfer when it comes to, and he hasn't also found his feet. So I think that for Slots, this particular thing that he's facing, first of all, the wrong profiling of players is one factor. Again, spending so much money on attacking players while there are other equally important options in terms of the midfield and the defense. There should be a proper reinforcement. I've not even mentioned the new goalkeeper they brought in. They were also going for Mark Gay at a point in time, but that didn't work. But I think that if they really needed Mark Gay, they would have worked on that transfer earlier before waiting for the transfer window to end. So for me, I think that it's poor planning, poor profiling of players, not using the money for the right kind of players going forward. Mohamed Salah, and if you look at it, Mohamed Salah was very close to Diego Jota, and these new players that have come in, Ekitike, Florian Wirtz, Alexander Isak, Salah is now here to find that dynamic with them, because at a point in time, if Jota had the ball, he knew where Salah was. If Darwin Núñez had the ball, that chemistry, that telepathy between them would have been there. Luis Diaz, you understand? But these are new players that have come in. We've only played about 9 games in the Premier League, and Salah is struggling to find this. So first of all, I think that in the transfer window, they should have also prioritized other key areas like the defense and also the midfield. And again, for Slots, this is his second season in the English Premier League. If not for the fact that he won the English Premier League last season, I don't think that we would have rated him as one of the great coaches we've had in terms of the English Premier League. And for me, I think that this is a real test for him to show whether he's a very good coach, because winning the Eredivisie was final at Netherlands and coming to the English Premier League is a different ball game. Yeah. And I think that this is the time that he's been really tested for the fact that whether he's a good coach. So for the Liverpool issue, I think that it's a lot of factors. And today they are playing against Aston Villa, and I think that this is the real test, because if they are not able to win this particular game, they are playing against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Then in that weekend they'll play against Manchester City in the English Premier League. So it's a lot of headache for him. Yeah. So he has to beat Aston Villa to at least get the momentum going forward. Yeah, he has to beat them so that the boys can be excited. But there are a few messages here. This is coming from Kwansima AC from La Paz, and he says that tell Brother Emmanuel that the girls need their money. Well, so that's Kwansima. She's a girl, and she's telling Brother Emmanuel that the girls need their money. This is Fantana from Abelenkpe. He said that, guys, I'm enjoying this show with my baby. Oh, wow. Wonderful, Fantana Abelenkpe. Thank you for always listening to us. Weekend Sports Rally. Then this is also coming from Samson Enim, and he's sending this one from Mimpasem, and he says that this conversation about Liverpool and his lost season, I think that let's relax for him. So that is coming from Samson Enim. Then from Kwame says that he's sending this one from Ajigano, and he says that I'm a big Chelsea fan, looking forward to their game later this weekend. Thank you very much. We'll talk about that game in the course of the show. So those are the messages I've received so far. Keep sending your messages, and I'll read them out to the rest of the world. Phil, it's been crazy for and Slots and his Liverpool lads.
not the best of season for them. I mean, defending champions coming into this season, everybody expected them that by now they would have extended the gap at top of the league log, but that isn't the case. They are really struggling to even end point or even end draw in games that are in teams that are considered mid-table clubs. So what do you make of it?
We'll talk about a Liverpool side that seasons back we saw a very good side where we had Salah on the left, on the right, Mane on the left, Firmino in midfield in the 4-3-3 system, where we saw Robertson on the left back, Trent on the right back, but then most of the time you see them on the wings. I quite remember their Champions League game against Barcelona in the second leg, where they had lost 3-0 at the Camp Nou, and they came to Anfield to play the second leg. They beat Barcelona with Messi, with Suarez, with their top players by 4-0. This is the side we are talking about today. Ancelotti inherited that team with some of the players gone. Mane left, a few of them as well left. With that quality, swept the whole Premier League and won the Premier League last season. In their cup match, we saw what happened. Yeah. I saw the traits from that game. From the beginning of the season where they played the Shield, I saw that they started conceding goals. They left it late against Bournemouth, the first game. They scored 2. Bournemouth came back, Ketsi Semenyo, he scored 2, and then they left it late to score those last 2 goals against Bournemouth to win the game by 4-2. In their second game against Newcastle, at the time they had a tussle with Newcastle where Isak had to leave Newcastle to Liverpool. So it was a very difficult game for both sides. Yeah. But then they managed to beat Newcastle by 3-2. They went away to win that game. And Newcastle had a red card. That a lot would say that affected the game. But they won the game. And it was late during injury time and they won. They as well played Arsenal. We saw the game. It was through a free kick by Szoboszlai and they won the game by a lone goal. I saw the traits coming. I was telling a colleague that that this Liverpool side doesn't look like the Liverpool that we used to know. They don't score. They hardly score. They were mean in defense.
And when you look at the traits, in all this win, it looks as if it has been pinned on player brilliance.
Thank you.
And they were all last-minute goals.
They were all last-minute goals.
Minutes, 92nd minutes.
They were all last-minute goals. I haven't even talked about away to Burnley. It was a difficult game. Playing against Burnley. Burnley, we all know, a new... yes. And they had to leave it late again. And it went on till they met Crystal Palace. That game, Crystal Palace should have won by probably like 5-6 goals. In the first half alone, they should have scored about 6 goals in the first half. But then, Crystal Palace managed to win by 2-1. And that was where the issues started. They had to, all those games, watch from Crystal Palace to Champions League, Galatasaray to Chelsea. They were all away games. So people were saying, oh, these were away games. Probably they didn't get certain things right. Good. After the international break, they had Manchester United at Anfield. Then the reality, they started seeing that no, then there's something wrong. Because we all know Manchester United struggled from the beginning of the season. But for me, I said on the first day that Manchester United played against Arsenal, that Manchester Amorim needed time. They are giving him so much pressure, and that guy could resign on any day. But they need to relax for him.
But he's a hard guy.
He's a hard guy. But the Manchester United fans are also hard.
No, but look, let me tell you, to be frank with you, a coach of his caliber, as young as he is, and you look at the kind of pressure he has endured in the last couple of weeks, I tell you, if it is another young player, young manager who is not experienced, like I would have left his.
Definitely.
And the thing is that the board has his backing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So maybe that was a difference.
Exactly.
The board
Because
has
he made certain comments during presses, and I was like, what? Anyway, but then when you watch these games, Slot was then playing the 4-2-3-1. Last season, he played most of his game playing the 4-3-3. This time around, he started playing the 4-2-3-1. And the 4-2-3-1, he used Salah, Gakpo, and then Ekitike. He started, when he joined the team, he started from the very first game. So what was left was the defense. The defense was conceding goals. So that was what Slot I thought he would have worked on by now. They played 9 games now, and we've not seen it in the Premier League.
Yeah.
He brought in certain players where we thought, yes, Makion was talking about how much they spent during the market and all that. Yes, but Liverpool is Liverpool. Liverpool are champions. So when they are investing, they make sure they buy quality.
Yeah, the reason I said that was because after the game, the weekend game, he said Manchester City had more depth than Liverpool. So that was the comment. So that was what brought a lot of people saying that, what are you saying? Because look at the players you signed. Even that game, Salah didn't play, Gakpo didn't play. A lot of players were on the bench. So he was making an excuse for the loss against Crystal Palace that he didn't have in-depth players, and he was playing with young players. That's why he lost. And that's why I raised the point that when you have such an amount of money, you need to prioritize certain positions. Yes, you are Liverpool, you're a big football club. You can spend a lot of players and everything. But then again, if you are talking about depth, then you should spend, if the money that you have, spend it on the right number of players, so that even when your best 11 are rested, yes, you have the same quality playing. That's why I raised that point.
When you look at the Liverpool setup, like I said, they played a 4-2-3-1 system. They in the games that they've lost throughout, they used that system. When they went away to play Frankfurt, they played the 4-4-2 system. And we saw the way Florian played. And he played a better game from the games he's played throughout the season that he played for Liverpool. But then when he came back to the domestic league, he was nowhere to be found. He's just, it was just, and that's something I believe that Slot should work on. He's talking too much for me. And this thing started from the issue with Ekitike. When he had a yellow card and scored and took off his jersey. When the journalist asked him in a presser, you heard what he said. And I believe that it was unfortunate. It was quite unfortunate for him to at least talk about the player that way, a new player that you bought and who's performing. From then, yes. And you see, these things, other players as well, they watch how you treat the players. Klopp would not do that in a presser. Never.
Yeah.
He would deal with you when you go. Exactly. I quite remember the issue between Mane and then Salah. Look at how Klopp dealt with the issue before Mane left the team. And
and that has to also do with experience. Look at the clubs.
Yes.
Club has managed, and you look at that of Ancelotti. I mean,
he's
handled bigger players with bigger egos.
The coaches learn every day.
Yeah.
When you take up from a manager who you succeed, who has been a good manager, or he's done so much, he's won the Champions League with the team and all that, you need to understudy him a bit, especially how he relates with the fans. And then you also find your way to do same or something, or probably you have your own way of doing things. But going this way, after you win the league and you feel you are the boss, you'll be found out. In the Premier League, really? I'm telling you, and that's the heat he's facing now. Look at the stats that they've had this season in the Premier League. They've scored 16 goals. They've conceded 14 goals. Played 82 shots. 41 shots on target. 39 shots in the box. And 28 outside the box. That tells you, if I'm a defender and I'm facing such a team, that means I would have to stop them before they get into the box. These stats helps the managers most of the time.
Yeah.
And anyway, and they've hit the woodwork 4 times. They had 1 penalty. They've had 141 dribbles in a game. They've had 49 corners, 17 yellow cards, and 83 fouls. All this, but still conceding goals. That tells you that the problem is in the defense. I know Van Dijk has been with the team. He has that experience, but he's lost a lot of pace.
Yeah.
Konate is strong, very strong in there. Both of them are very strong with aerial balls. But when it comes to quick feet, attackers that are very fast and very skillful, that has been the problem. And Slot would have to find a way during this time before or January, would have to find a defender to help the team. Else it would go worse. Because the problem has to do with the defense. Those 2 center backs are becoming too slow. Meanwhile, Kekes and then Frimpong that came in, you decided that you go in for a wing back instead of a right back. Let me show you the difference between a right back and a wing back. The wing back is supposed to be in the midfield to support both attacking and defensive. So you are not supposed to be in defense. Your work is in to midfield. Support the attack. Yeah. But then occasionally you come back to assist in defense. Kekes is a fully a left back, which I believe that even right now, Robertson is even better than him. He only has pace. Robertson has also lost pace, but he has the experience. So these are the areas that I feel that Slot should have done something with, and they would have to do it now, else they will sink.
The ship will sink deep in the floating waters. Let me bring in Manuel. I'm sure he's got a different perspective to that. The way Manuel smiled, certainly he has.
I do. All right. I'm not trying to be the controversial guy, but I do.
No, but it's normal. Sometimes it's good.
I do. Look, I think if I'm a doctor and I'm diagnosing this Liverpool side, I'm thinking. So people forget, but when Jurgen Klopp joined Liverpool in 2015. Till he left in 2024, right? 2015, 2024, that's almost a decade. He only won 1 Premier League, just the one, okay? Jurgen Klopp won the 1 Premier League, he won the 1 Champions League, and then the FA Cups and the FIFA Club World Cups and what have you. But for 9 years, 10 years under Jurgen Klopp, he just won 1 Premier League. I want people to understand that. 1.
Yeah.
Okay? Fine. Now, this achievement in any other club, at a Real Madrid, it is nothing to write home about. At a Real Madrid or at a Barcelona, you come and you take over and you win 1 Premier League, 1 Champions League in 9 years. It's not something to run home about.
Yeah.
But you know why it's different for Liverpool and with Jurgen Klopp? It's because this same Liverpool went 40 years without winning the league.
Yeah.
That is why Jurgen Klopp has been put on this pedestal that he did something so great and so amazing for the team. But honestly, man, it was not all that. Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, like Phil was saying that they did a comeback against Barcelona. It was great. But Jurgen Klopp was in charge of Liverpool for 9 years and he won just the one. 1-1-1-1-1 was his formation.
Putting things.
I'm coming. That's what I'm saying. That
because
and I'm saying that because of you, when you context matters. Yeah. So you look at the fact that they had gone 40 years without winning it.
Yeah.
Then it makes it, and
it makes it understandable.
Yeah, it makes it understandable.
The 9 years
from
the 9 years from the 40, and that means 31 years.
Yeah, it makes it look. So
Phil, hold
on. Relax. But I am saying that ordinarily, if you let go of the context that this was a Liverpool side that had gone 40 without winning it and all that. And I've given you examples.
And even look at the players. Players they've had over the years.
Thank you. Let's talk about the players.
They are realities and they are facts.
Let's talk about players, man. Yeah. Let's talk about the Steven G's and the Fernando Torreses, man, and the Luis Suarez's. Okay? Let's talk about players. So, this is a great point. But I'm saying, if these statistics, if these achievements are taken like that, and they are put in any other top side in Europe, like Madrid or Barcelona, it's not great.
Even Napoli, that will not suffice at Napoli.
It's not gonna suffice.
Yeah.
So I'm not making excuses for Arne Slot. Okay, look, I mean, I don't really know the guy. I don't owe him any allegiances, but I feel like let's give things proper context. And Arne Slot is just in his second season here. Okay, he's just in the second season. He won the league in the first, and I think with Arne Slot winning the league last season, I think a lot of similarities can be drawn from when Rafa Benitez took over the Real Madrid team, and in that season he was sacked. We didn't even finish the season. We didn't even let him finish the season because we were doing so bad, and that is what happened with Liverpool. Before Jurgen Klopp left, Liverpool were fifth the season before in his second to last season.
Yeah.
In the last season they were third. Okay, pretty much. Any season aside the 2020 season when they won the league and the 2023 season where he came close to winning the league, but Man City beat them by just 1 point. He's just gone third, fourth, played around there. His last season, it was very bad. Before he left, it was quite bad. Liverpool were langling somewhere. They were fighting for top 4 spots and stuff like that. So then you bring in a new manager. I feel so because look, when Arne Slot took over, he didn't really sign any players. He didn't really change much. It was all the players that Jurgen Klopp had, everything that Jurgen Klopp had set up. They even played the way Jurgen Klopp was playing. The Gengen pressing, the 4-3-3, that was what he was playing in his first season as a Liverpool manager. And it worked. And I think it was just, it was psychological. When you are not getting the results and you bring in the new boss, it feels like there's a change in atmosphere. There's a change in team. And I think that's what happened with Real Madrid under Rafa Benitez. Rafa Benitez started the season with us in that season. We're doing quite well in the Champions League, but in the league, we're not doing so well. And then Zidane took over. The same players, no changes, and Zidane went ahead to win the league and then win the Champions League with us. So it's one of those things. You change a manager. Three times, but so it's just one of those things because Zidane too didn't buy players when he took over Madrid. He used the same players, but under Rafa Benitez, we were not doing so well. Do you understand? And that was the case for Liverpool. Under Jurgen Klopp's final seasons, they were not doing so great. And then Arne Slot comes and he's using the same players to win the league. But that new blood, new fresh idea system, it doesn't last long. And I think that's what we are seeing. It's diminishing returns. So it feels like you've hit the highest you could possibly hit, and now you have to start fresh. And I think that's where Liverpool are at. I think Liverpool are in the transition phase. They've not come to the realization that, look, we have to start doing things. Because, look, the squad has changed. Okay? You can talk about, then attackers and all that, but they signed a lot of players. Ekitike, Isak, Florin, Vers, Kekets, Jeremy Frimpong. That's 5 players. Giovanni Leone, that's a defender they signed for Parma. That's 6 players. 6 new players in the team. That is a whole lot of change for football. In club football, that's a whole lot of change. Goalkeeper. Mamadashvili, goalkeeper. That's 7 players that they've signed. Look, you can't possibly expect to sign 7 players into a team and do things like nothing has changed. So I think Arne Slot first has to understand that, look, I don't have the same team I had last season. It's a different team. Liverpool fans have to understand that this is a transition phase because, like I said, in Arne Slot's first season, they played the same football Jurgen Klopp was playing. It was the Gegenpress, the 4-3-3. But now you know that, look, it's a different squad. Your number 9 is different. Your wingers are different. Your wing backs are different. Your right backs are different. Okay, and look, people realize, and I made mention of the point here that there was a reason why Arne Slot was playing Szoboszlai, who's a midfielder, as right back in the big games. Okay, he's missing Trent Alexander-Arnold so badly. He feels like I have to. The only way I can replicate what Trent used to give me from the right back position is to play at midfielder. You don't. Otherwise, why would you play? Because that's what Trent was doing for the team. So this man is caught between having to repeat the things that Jurgen Klopp was doing that was working, and then having to start afresh. And I think, look, until Liverpool fans, until the management of the team realize that, look, this is a transition phase, until they realize that we have to start afresh because it's a different squad, it's a different set of players, and we have to find what works with this group of players. They will keep struggling. If Arne Slot is starting players, playing the formation that feels like, oh, I expect Mo Salah to run into the wings, get the ball, and then start banging the elbows. He forgets that Mo Salah is not pairing up with the likes of Firmino again. Mo Salah is not pairing up with Darwin Nunez or Diogo Jota again. Now Mo Salah has either Ekitike or Isak in front of him. That's a different dynamic. It has to start from, you have to start from zero. See, so that's why the preseason matters. And I made mention of the fact that, look, Arne Slot did not have the preseason he would have liked because Isak was not around. The fan is saying Ekitike, even for preseason, had played only just the one game. Ekitike came so late in the transfer window. A lot of these deals they should have done long ago, and that's the problem because you wanted Maguire, and Maguire saga went on and you dragged on. You didn't get him finally. You moved on. So the preseason was not right for Liverpool. They did not have the time. They did not have the time to start players. They did not have the time to have the whole squad that they needed to have to play the kind of football that he wants. You do a lot of try errors in preseason. So you try this and doesn't work. You try that and doesn't work. And he's now doing that. So people are bashing him for trying a different set of formation, trying a different set of players in the EFL Cup. And I'm telling you, it's preseason he did not have. He's now doing his preseason, man. Mid into the season, he's now doing preseason. He's now trying different set of formations. He's now trying different set of plays. That is what you do in preseason. He did not get that. He did not have the players. He did not have the opportunity to try these things in preseason. And that's why we are saying that. But people have to understand, this is a different Liverpool. This is not Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool anymore. They've moved on from that. And this new team of players are going to need time because your manager did not get them in time to start the preseason and do all the things he needed to do to fix them out and figure them out. And so, look, if I'm a Liverpool fan, and look, people talk about how they started the season and they were winning. But we've made mention of, and I think Phil mentioned that Liverpool that started the season, they were not the Liverpool of old. It was not a great Liverpool side. They were conceding so much. If you watch their preseason games, against Atletico Madrid, they conceded 3 goals. Against Bilbao, they conceded a lot of goals. In the preseason games, they were conceding so much. So it wasn't the all-star on fire Liverpool. You guys had problems. Your problems were just masked because you were outscoring your opponents. But the problems are still in the team. This team is a team under transition, and that is why you are suffering.
Oh wow! So Manuel says that the Liverpool fans have to, get the sharp reality. The sharp reality is that it is a team in transition under Arne Slot. I feel have a quick rebuttal. Is there a rebuttal add up?
No, it's just an add up. Yeah, I quite agree with some of the things that he said. I think that he didn't touch on the issues of Liverpool conceding goals. They are scoring, yes. That's okay. So I don't think the attack is the issue. Yeah. The problem lies with the defense. And that's what Slot would have to look at.
The problem lies with the defense. All right. Great point there from Phil. And I think that the three of you have admitted to that because Makion said same. Let's, guys, 2 minutes so that we look at other fixtures. We are quite running out of time. Tell me, you think the 23-year-old Samuel Lamens is one of the best goalkeepers United should keep at the moment? Sonny Lamens, do you think is the best?
When it's not broken, you don't fix it. Yes, so that's what I would say, because when Onana was there, we all saw his performances. He was conceding goals, goals that you didn't expect him to concede. Looking at his caliber, he was conceding. Fast forward, when he left to Trabzonspor on loan, the second goalkeeper, Alta Bayern there, was also brought in post. He was also conceding goals that he wasn't supposed to be conceding. Some of the goals was unpardonable. Then, at a point in time, yes, Summers was there, but he wasn't starting. When he was introduced, I think things are going well for Manchester United. Even if you look at how he organizes the defense, the saves that he does, the simple thing, the basic goalkeeping rules or basic goalkeeping things that he does. And from that time, Manchester United have kept on winning games. They've conceded less goals, and Amorim now is happening. So what I would say is that if it's not broken, you don't fix it. And I think that at this moment, he's the right man for the job.
Phil, Sonny Lamens, do you think this is the best goalkeeper? 3 games, he's kept 1 clean sheet. And but look, when you watch Man United's previous game against, that was last Saturday they played against I forgot
Brighton.
I think Brighton, because we saw the Ghanaian blood in there for Danny Welbeck. Got a goal.
Yeah, right.
Look, some of the saves he made in that game. Do you think that this is a prospect?
A lot to say it's a prospect. Like Makion said, if it's not broken, you don't fix it. The fact still remains that I think the United setup now is much better than the time that Onana was there. Onana at a point was making serious saves for the team just to save the team, and they even gave him an award during that time. So I don't think all of a sudden that the team is doing well. Yeah, it looks as if Amorim has found a certain key players and have gotten what he wanted in the team, and they are playing much better now. That you say that Onana was bad. I believe that Onana saves as compared to this young chap. I believe Onana still is my best goalkeeper for Manchester United. They should take a real look at that, because the team is doing well now. The back line is, they now understand themselves much better than they did when Amorim took over. So I wouldn't blame Onana for conceding those goals, because he's not the only defender in the back line of Manchester United. There were other defenders as well. There were goals that were deflected that there was no way he could stop those balls. And I am very particular about stats. When you watch the number of saves that Onana did back then, you would understand what I mean. This is a young chap. Let's give him the time. He's probably doing well in a good team now. The setup is good, and I think that it would help the team this season.
Manuel, I mean, did you side with both of them?
Look, and you see, when we are funny people. When people talk about, Phil was talking about how, the Liverpool, when we were talking about Liverpool, how it was the defense that was a problem, and conveniently, he singled out the centre backs, the centre back pair. But now we are talking about Onana. He says it's not only the one. No,
but
people forget.
We talked about the Liverpool team. Now we are talking about the goalkeeper. That's the difference.
No, the goalkeeper is part of a unit. You see, people forget when people are talking about bad defense.
Understand what I am talking about, and then go along.
No, when people see, this happens a lot. When people are talking about defense, they forget that the defensive, duties of a team does not solely rely on one or two players. Okay, you can't single out a goalkeeper and talk about how if a goalkeeper is bad, then you are looking at there's context.
But you know what? What came to mind? You know what came to mind? I want to ask. which in a way agrees with Phil a bit, and then equally, I think the question is, why did Richard Ofori touch the ball? Because in that situation, it was not about the defense.
That is when you can say
this is not about
goalkeeper is
defense.
bad. You know, yeah, that's when you can say a goalkeeper is
single-handedly.
bad. So let's talk about Onana. Look, under when Onana was in pole for United, they were facing all the shots, man. All the shots were
He saved almost everything.
bro. When you are facing that many shots, you are bound to concede a lot.
Yes.
A goalkeeper in a Liverpool team or a Manchester City team that is not facing the same volume of shots is bound not to concede as much. It's very simple. It's maths. Okay? So when a goalkeeper is in a team and the defense is so porous, the ball is always coming, they are hitting all the shots on target stats are always in favor of your opponent, he's bound to concede.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I look at this Sam Lamens guy and I look at the defensive shots. He's averaging 3.7 saves per game. Onana was averaging more. At United, Onana was averaging more. That's because he was facing a whole lot of shots.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But now he's not. This Manchester United team are not facing the volume of shots that they were. So, bro, I don't think it's down to the performance of the unique qualities of this goalkeeper. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
But we agree that this same season, Manchester United have used 2 goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Bande.
Yeah.
So, if you are making that point, what about
Exactly my point.
What about Bande? Because he was conceding the goals.
He started the
same
season.
defensive setup.
He started the season.
It's the same defensive setup we are talking about. It's the same low average of shots Manchester United are facing.
No.
But the defenders, he changed the centre backs.
Exactly. And you cannot
It was a
check-
different centre backs that they played
But my
against.
point is,
And you cannot check the shots that United faced when Bandier was.
and again,
United, when they started the season, were not all that. Against Brentford, in their first 2 games, they considered first 2 chances on goal. That was Buendia in post.
Yeah.
Brentford.
Yes.
So I'm saying that let's, whenever I'm talking, let's put context to things. First of all, you made mention of the defensive setup, and Phil has also clarified that yes, now the defensive setup has changed, even in terms of the centre backs and everything. But my point is, if you are good, you are good. If you are average, you are average. The point is, even if those centre backs were changed and Bandia was still in post, I believe that he would have still considered those goals. So let's give the credit to the goalkeeper.
All of you.
And again, the opposition that
Very, very
United
important.
have faced.
Yeah.
So that's the context. I'm
Those
using
are
it.
key indicators.
Because
Key
those
you'll
are-
be surprised to know that Buendia was averaging a better save rate than Sam Lames. That's the point I'm making. When your opponent, the opponent you're facing is
tough.
having, it's one, the strength of the opponent. 2, whether or not in the game they were averaging more shots on targets than you are currently. All these things are going to reflect in your stats. Do you understand?
No, and even beyond the normal play on the field, what is the emotion, the psychic of those players beyond the things we don't see? For it will be the same defenders coming to the game. Maybe previously they had different mentality coming to those games, but now something is changing. So I think that it's a bit complex.
Yeah,
but look,
that's what.
But I think,
was saying,
in a way, I agree with the former Manchester United legend Peter Schmeichel, who says that yes, the young man is doing well, but we need to take time.
Honestly, I think it's way too early. It's way too early for me to make a decision.
It's the reason why today I've seen the 3 of you or your biases, Makion,
biases.
yeah, and Phil. When it comes to Lawrence Atizigi, you don't know that in his Swiss league he faced high number of shots.
Oh no, I made that point when we made that sketch. You forgot.
But anyway, that is fair enough.
But why didn't you make the same point for Richard Ofori?
Richard, no, but in this case, it was Richard. He went out of his post.
Everything there's contest to it.
Yes, in this
So
case,
let's continue.
Richard Ofori went to
continue.
touch the ball.
When a goalkeeper goes to bring the ball from over to
Guys, let's talk about Arsenal now. Let's talk about Arsenal. I have some few messages here, but let's talk about Arsenal now. Do you think that they can retain their lead at top of the league beyond December? Because we know that in Christmas period, that is where a lot of things happen.
Yeah. So the question is beyond December. Beyond December, yes, they can because they've done it before. Last 2 seasons, as at December, they were still on top. As at February, Arsenal were still on top.
And what's happened at the end?
So that's what I'm saying. If their question is just beyond December, then they can. But if you ask me, if you come again with a question that do you think they can go on to win the title? That's a different conversation. But beyond December, they can.
They can. And
Yeah,
would they
they've
win
done
the
it
league?
before. They've done it for like
and are
2
they
seasons.
capable of winning the league beyond?
So that's the question. Again, last season, even 3 seasons before this particular season, you've seen Arsenal having the opportunity to win the league. Now, the problem was, first of all, the mental fortitude. Games that you expect that they'll go on to win, they draw or they either lose. Games that they get a draw and they are so happy about it because they should have gone on to win. Last season like this, our last year against Aston Villa, if they had won that game against Aston Villa, it didn't matter whether City were winning all their games. Arsenal would have won the title. So what they have to change is their mentality, that mental fortitude going forward. Games that we are supposed to win, let's go out and win those games. Because last 2 seasons, Arsenal were beating the big boys. The issue was games against Aston Villa, Fulham, then they will go and draw against a Brentford, they will go and draw against a Burnley. That's the only issue that Arsenal have. And this season so far, they are conceding less goals. In terms of goals conceded, last season, they were conceding more in this period. This month, they've never conceded a goal in the English Premier League. Yes, they are using the set pieces, the throw-ins, the free kicks, the corner kicks. They are using those games. Again, their problem is scoring from open play goals. So I think that going forward, Arsenal can still be on top of the season beyond December, February. They can still, but March, April, May, they need to have that mental fortitude. And if they are able to do that, they will be able to win. Especially looking at the fact that Liverpool, the defending champions, are suffering now. Manchester City, they've not have that mojo going forward. Chelsea are also picking up. And currently, Arsenal are leading the pack by more than 3 points or even 4 points. So if they are able to do that, maintain that mental fortitude after February, then they can win it. Yeah.
Okay. Emmanuel, do you think that beyond December, Arsenal can be on top of the league log and even go on to win the EPL? Because it looks like even Pep Guardiola have said that, look, with the kind of Arsenal, the kind of team, I beg your pardon, Arsenal is having, it looks like they are a possible title contenders.
I mean, yeah, people said it's mind games, right? He said, I don't see Arsenal dropping points anytime, and that's what Pep said. But look, I think let's talk about last season. I think McKeown mentioned of the fact that they lost in the Aston Villa game. I remember that game because I was paying attention. Do you know, people forget that before the Aston Villa game, they had played Bayern Munich in the Champions League about 2 days ago. And I think back then, and I've always mentioned, I think it's a squad depth thing for Arsenal. I think that is, to a very big extent, why they fell short of winning the title a lot. Because Arsenal would play, you are playing about, 6 competitions, and you want to win at least Champions League and league titles. Then you play every 3 days. You have to change your squad. And Arsenal are a club. Let's talk about their forward line. Back then, you have Gabriel Jesus, who goes, he plays 1 game and he gets injured. Then they bought Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz too has recently turned into a sick bay. Yeah, he owns a permanent slot in the sick bay. So personally, I think they've had a squad issue. They've had a squad depth issue. But this season, I think they've done fantastic in the players they buy. They bought a lot of players. They bought the depth. So for every position now, you can have Arsenal maybe fielding two or more players in that position. And I think that is the key difference for them. I think that alone means that they have a better chance of doing it this season.
Phil, you have the last words, and then we can call it a show.
Arsenal have the depth, like Manuel said, and they've bought certain players. And I'm looking at them beyond December. I believe if none of their centre backs gets injured, then I believe they can go on to win. But it happened 2 seasons back when we saw Saliba get hit, and then they started. Exactly, last season as well. So theirs has to do with injury or whatever. But I believe that the only competition in the Premier League has to do with the London clubs. Because they don't support each other when you are going on to win. And yes, Arsenal would have to make sure that they beat all the London clubs, else the London clubs will pull them down.
All right, so that's Phil speaking there. Guys, we are about running away. Very, very quick ones. Phil, I'm sure you want to say hi to someone.
I want to just
My
say,
producer said 10 seconds for you.
I will just talk about the Spurs and the Chelsea game. That's the biggest game this weekend. That's the biggest game. And Chelsea has a problem with breaking the low block teams, playing teams that are normally play very compact at the back. It's been very difficult for Maresca to break such teams down. That is what he has to do. And the center backs of the Chelsea team, we don't know who is a stopper and who is a sweeper. Today it's Tosin, tomorrow it's how do they call it, Chaloba, whatever. Every time he's changing, rotating the center backs and all that. There's no consistency in defense, and I believe that's another thing which is it's affecting the team. Today he has to find a way to sort that thing out. He has a better record with Thomas Frank. He beat him at Stamford Bridge last season with Brentford, and he went there to play 0-0. He did today. He has to find a way to beat him. Else, we will also find a way to
sack him,
to get to prepare big problems for him. Okay. So he has to win that game. That's the London derby. The London derbies, we don't joke with it at all.
Interesting. So Phil has exhausted his 10 seconds.
Me, I can't say anything more than that. I mean, have you heard that passionate analysis? I mean, speaking as a Chelsea fan, you can understand. And I feel for Phil, he's my brother. So we want Chelsea to win so that Phil will be happy. I want him to be happy. But historically, they do very well when they meet Tottenham. They're beating them for the a lot of the past recent games that they played together. So they've got that going for them. But it's a different Tottenham side. Thomas Frank and his team are doing quite well in most of the game. If they manage to win this in this Chelsea match, they will go second on the table. They are currently third. That tells you that things are going quite well for them. So it's going to be a tough game. But for Phil's sake, I hope Chelsea wins.
Well, interesting stuff. You know what? Today's the birthday of Richard Ofori. I never knew. Today's his birthday. So happy birthday to Gardner's former goalkeeper, Richard Ofori. Because it doesn't look like he's turning soon. Guys, thank you very much for tuning into Weekend Sports Rally on Z101.9 FM, and I'm sure you have really been treated to some amazing perspectives. We came here with the Black Queens, Liverpool problems, and asked whether Arsenal can extend their league at top of the league log beyond December and even go on to win it. Unfortunately, couldn't bring you the preview, but you know that your team is definitely in a battlefield today. You heard Phil speak about Chelsea and why they must win the London derby. Well, this is where we have to wrap up, but up next is Roots and Route.